Hello, my name is Ilona and today is Tuesday, June 27, 2023, and I really wanted to look at refugees and what is going on with that energy of the refugees worldwide, but also what's happening here in the Netherlands. I read an article yesterday in the Dutch media about a court case that someone who was asking for asylum for a third time, so he was already rejected twice. He thought he was going to be rejected for a third time, and he boiled oil and poured it on two employees working where he was living at that time. So he'd rather go to jail than be returned to his country. And this is not just one incident. There are many incidents happening also worldwide. We of course had the incident in France recently, and we just have it. All refugees, things are getting out of control here in the Netherlands. Also near Zandvoort, which is in Zandvoort, the beach there. There are groups of gatherings, certain nationality. I think they're Moroccan. But they are really wreaking havoc and terrorizing the neighborhood there, the beaches there. And it's a big issue. And we can see it just in other countries. In Ireland, they have big issues also with refugees coming in, with communities there. There is so much going on. And this is the UK. In America, they've got the southern border that's people just coming in, and this is all done on purpose. The dark energies want that confusion, they want the chaos. They purposely create this for multiple reasons. First of all, chaos, fear, divide and conquer. They want to destroy communities. Because let's face it, decades ago, people still had this community, the people they were living with, and there was much more support going on. And of course, they broke down all that support from churches, support from the communities, from families. They purposely are destroying that so people get isolated, because then they are much better to control and to manipulate, and they want everyone ultimately locked into like this virtual reality where they can take over the energy of humans. We have, of course, a lot of spiritual energy, and they want to use that for their own purposes and agendas. And this is part of this transhumanism agenda I already explained in all the videos. And that's why they're isolating people. That's why they're bringing in all these refugees to really destroy nationalities, destroy culture, destroy everything that connects people, everything that unites people. They want to destroy that. So that's part of their plan. That's why they bring in all these refugees, and it creates chaos. So it's about this lower energy. It's about divide and conquer, getting all these groups together so you can manipulate them. People are focused on that, and they're not focused on anything else anymore. People fearing, low frequency, and of course children can be moved in that way all across the globe and all across the world. And that of course is for different activities, gruesome activities, and they purposely send all these children without any paper so they can just disappear. So there's so many aspects to this story. I've also looked at certain refugees, these currents that were just coming in, and that are most likely there are also military among them, probably from the dark hats, but also from the white hats. So there is a lot going on there, but I just wanted to take a look at the energy, especially with all these incidents, what's happening just in Europe, but also, in other countries all around the world. It's used for false flags, and it doesn't mean that there won't be any victims, but they also have a lot of people, use with brain techniques so that they will be activated, of course, create chaos, hurt people die, children die. And that's purposely done, again, to create that fear, create that chaos. But most likely this is used to isolate people. They want people isolated. They want people all on themselves, on their own. So it's way better to manipulate them. And this is part of throwing over all these these connections that people have, and it's very important to understand that that's what they're working with. That's why it's so important to connect with yourself, with your spiritual self, and understand we are all spiritual beings. We are in a human experience, but we're all connected, because then it will give like this completely different energy. But the cards I got for just on this energy is the Nine of Cups, which I thought was very interesting. The Nine of Cups. We've got the Four of Pentacles, a central card. We've got the Three of Wands in the past. We've got the Knight of Pentacles underneath the Four of Pentacles. And then we have the Two of Swords and the Ten of Wands. So it's going to get heavier, and I just got an extra card just to clarify where this is going to. And then I've got the Page of Wands. So to me, ultimately, this will be resolved. To me, this is a white hat card influence. So things ultimately, when everything, the change is happening, we're truly are seeing it around the world. Of course, now changes are already happening, but we see the old system dying first before we start really seeing the new. And then people will return to their places. I do believe a lot of things will change. A lot of energies will change. There will be more connection. But right now, I think this is a wish card. So this is part of what the Dark Hats want. This is part of their plan. Like I've mentioned, they want to use this. They still want to hold on to these plans, because this is a way of getting people isolated, divide and conquer, getting children around, and they also want to create a chaos in the government, because if you just look at the Netherlands, with all these refugees coming in, there is not enough room, there is not enough housing, and that of course is directly, and you'll have it in Ireland, you have it in countries just around the world, where people from that country can barely get a housing, and of course they want to use that to blame that on the refugees and create this divide and conquer, making sure that not everyone is going to get a place. And here in the Netherlands, they even have some law that they might use. I don't think they're actually going to use it to actually, they want to be able to evict people out of their own home so they can place refugees there. It's very interesting where they come up with all these things, but this is purposely done to create chaos. It takes up a lot of money to house all these people, and they use that because, but you have to help people, they are in need, you have to help all these refugees. Well, most of them that coming in, you kind of wonder where they're coming in, because here in the Netherlands, a lot of them come from so-called safe countries. So they're not here really to get asylum. They usually do other things as well. And like I said, they're part of this. This is like a part of the dark energies to create all these chaos, all this trouble, destroy communities, the feeling of connection. They are destroying that, because people, like I've mentioned before, isolated are way easier to manipulate. So, but it's going to get tougher, and I think it's very important to realize it will look, I do think a lot of things are also, because of the media, exaggerated. I do believe a lot of people from the Ukraine have already returned to the Ukraine, but they're pushing that as well. So a lot of things you see is to create fear, anger with people, frustration. That's a low vibration. So really trust your own intuition. Just don't be blinded by what they're showing you, because not everything is correct. I do believe there are, of course, issues with refugees. You can, you can notice that yourself, of course, in your own community maybe, but it's also being as exaggerated by the media, trying to get that low vibration going. But it's going to get tougher, especially with the Ten of Wands. It will seem like it's going to be massive problems. It's also about waking up people, understanding that the government is not working for them. This has all to do also with that this has been planned for very long. Like I said, this was the plan of the dark energies to use it in all kinds of ways. But ultimately, I do believe that with the Page of Wands, people will return to their own places. I also wanted to mention, I mentioned that in my other, in my Dutch video, obviously, where I shuffled the cards. So if you want to see that, shuffling the cards, you can see that in my Dutch video. that we have to realize when we entering this new energy, and it's already happening, and we are more connected with our spiritual being in this human experience, we will connect on a completely different level. This system that we're in, this dark system with violence, with the emphasis on dark and negative, that will move away. That's why it's so important that we work through our own shadow parts, because then it won't affect us anymore. We will create a new world, a new earth, where we do not have those things anymore. And people that are on a very low vibration and are very violent, they've been put in positions of power by the dark energies because they wanted to use those people. They will disappear. They won't be able to maintain themselves in a higher frequency. So the entire world will completely change. It will be connection, people getting together, helping each other out. It will be completely different than what we're seeing right now. So please keep that in mind. So it will seem like it's just going to get worse and worse. And we are now in a very hectic period. Things are getting completely out of control, and it's necessary for the new to come in. The old has to go. So really stay strong in your own intuition, because ultimately it will all be resolved. I truly believe that. There will be a completely different connection, and people that are just not in that frequency or are still on a lower frequency will leave. They will not be able to maintain themselves. So all these things that are happening now that are so-called normal to us now, I kind of wonder if that is really truly who we are as a human, as spiritual beings. All these things that have been created, I believe a lot of the dark energies have affected that. And of course, we started to think that that is normal. We've been programmed to think that it's normal. But a lot of behavior is not normal. I don't think that it's really, truly who we are. And the more we step into our power, the least we are going to, we'll see less of those things. It will disappear. I don't think people who are truly connected with themselves want to hurt other people. A lot comes from pain, hurt, frustration, anger, things like that. That's why it's so important to deal with our shadow parts. So this is what I've got for the energy of the refugees and everything that's happening with the refugees. Like I said, I think it is a plan by the dark energies that really their wish to create all these chaos and communities destroyed, and people are not connected anymore in any way. That was their plan, so they can wheel them into transhumanism, plug people in, because that will give them a sense of community, or sort of thing of that they will belong to. I've mentioned this before. Long term, that plan is ultimately not going to work. They need the energy from people, and when they are fused people with technology, the connection to source will disappear. So ultimately they'll need other people to bring in that energy. But this is just, I think ultimately it will work out in the best, but it's going to look worse quite some time. I think that it will seem like we're completely overwhelmed by people, and they have all these strange laws coming in, like I mentioned in the Netherlands with the eviction, that you could be evicted from your own home that you own or rent, and then other refugees will have to come in. It's really ridiculous. But it will get more ridiculous. Very important to really feel with your intuition what is really going on. So that's about the refugees. And the other thing I also wanted to look at, and this is happening in the Netherlands, but I do think that this is interesting because they now want to, hypocrisy, democracy, and the outrageous assault on the Forum voor Democratie party. So they now want to talk Wednesday here in the parliament about this party, which probably has the biggest membership in the country and is led by Thierry Baudet. He is the one that brought in here the World Economic Forum, questions being asked. They are really on top of a lot of things that are happening. And now the other people that started this initiative want to get rid of that party. And it's just completely ridiculous. They think that they are threatening democracy, so they want to get rid of a party which is probably the most undemocratic thing they can do, really showing them as the biggest problem. And in a Dutch article, it was already mentioned, like, you're going to take away the party with the biggest number, the largest members of this country, and then you think that those members will be like, oh yes, well, this is probably a good thing. Now we're going to trust the elite because they're not as evil as we think they are, by doing one of the most evil thing you can do in a so-called democracy. So yeah, I don't think this is going to work, but I thought it was very interesting. They also tried to get rid in the media from Ongehoord Nederland. They are also bringing other different voices, more critical voice, and they are trying to get rid of them from the Dutch media, that they won't be able to broadcast anymore. Not sure where that is going, but this is really open people's eyes and just show them what's going on. And I was just feeling like this is so ridiculous that they would actually bring this in. This is just insane. And I thought, well, this has to be a white hat operation or action, because it's truly one of the, to be very honest, if this was, how do you say this, done from the dark energies, it's about the dumbest thing you can do, because you're going to get so much resistance from people. But interestingly enough, I actually got the cards, and this one is the Nine of Pentacles, and this is the central card, the Nine of Swords. Of course, this is going to create stress. People are wondering what's going on. We've got the Two of Pentacles in the past. And interestingly enough, we have the Queen of Wands underneath the central card. We've got the Knight of Wands for the future and the Page of Wands. So, yeah, who do you think is behind this action? I think it's the white hats, because it's so insane. And I think that's exactly the point. But it will create stress, obviously. People are starting to wonder what is going on here, because really, just because people think differently, you don't have the right to shut them down, especially not because there are so many people behind this party. You're shutting them down. This is about people following their own way, their own path, independence. And this is really showing people again how ridiculous this is. I don't think this is going to get anywhere, but this is a very interesting conversation. So just going to see what's going to happen in the media. They're still trying to frame, of course, Forum for Democracy as this very strange party with all these ideas, these strange ideas, which are very, how do you say this, similar to the ideas spread here in a Truva community, but it's just interesting to see. But to me, this feels like, especially with these cards, like this is a white hat operation. This is purposely done to show people, and it will create fear and stress, like what are they doing, outrage, and that's exactly what you in a way need to wake up people and to realize this is not good. We shouldn't have these people in control to decide these things, but this will just make people more independent, following their own way, and this is just to show people. So I just want to leave it at this. Hope to see you in another video. Bye.